Hi again. Hope you're doing well. Um, it's been a few days, and I have been wanting to record this, but I didn't get the room to myself. Now I have it for some time. Honestly, might not have it for a long time, so most probably there's a good chance I'll get cut off in the middle or something. But in any case, hi again. Hope you're doing well. I can start by showing some photos. Again, I got all the stuff for my camera. So all of my camera related things I have with me. Is this my cable? I am pretty sure I gave the cable back to my friend. Okay, and there goes my second monitor. We are starting well with
Storage media found.
like 30 problems. I'm pretty sure I covered you with my hand for a second, or covered myself with my hand for a second. But anyways, yeah. So we can see some photos that I took. No new videos. Actually, I've been thinking of experimenting with some. Um, I'm not sure what was the last photo that I showed, so I'll just start kind of randomly. But I'm pretty sure. Let me go smaller. Hi. Okay. So what I was saying is, I'm pretty sure that I've shown some of these photos before, but whatever. There's a crow photo. This is me sitting on top of a place, basically. Some more crows, different EV exposure value. So this one is too bright, but you can see the crows better. Some flowers. I love these photos where you can see, like when you zoom in, this looks like a painting, doesn't it? It looks so good. Um, this is a food, and I don't know if you can see in this photo. Maybe it's not bright enough for you, but you'll see it now. So yeah, that's kind of funny. This is a photo I took of some cat in a box somewhere. Some more cats there. Two cats there, one this one and one is this one. And then this one. This one is very lazy. I saw this kitten yesterday. Um just sitting, not doing anything. Very small. And this is a painting, a wall painting of a place that I kinda hate. Like it's such a weird photo. It is a photo that is like I don't even know what to tell you. It's just an odd photo that the more you look at it, the weirder things you'll see. Like the eye, there's no consistency to the eyes, right? Some of them are dots, some of them are like more realistic eyes. Then the mouth, sometimes look at this man is holding like a tiny umbrella. This woman's hand is fused with her legs. Like everywhere you look, there's no consistency to the lips either. Everywhere you look, it's just madness. Like, look at this. This looks like hell. But yeah, I also have to close the doors. I'll be back. Okay. With that, wait. Okay. Now there's some more cats here. This one had a blip. One was sitting on me, so I couldn't move for a while. This one held the blip for so long. It was kind of insane. And this one is such a diva. I think I call her Saturn, and she was first of all, she was the one who was sitting on me, and she tried to bite me on my chest. But also, she was looking at me the whole time. But as soon as I turn the camera on her, she just gives this absolutely bombastic pose. Every time I was pointing the camera at her, she was like, "I'm not looking directly at the camera. It's too mainstream or whatever." I finally caught one like her looking vaguely at me. But I think that's it. So it's trying to load the first photo, which is just a photo of mine. Not very interesting, trust me. So now we're also going to try. Uh, we are also going to try out Krita. So I believe Krita should be working now. with my tablet. Okay, let's see. So I have my tablet here. Just a second. Okay. I should have a wire here as well. So I won't be drawing anything, but I just want to quickly put it and see if it works. So I'll make it a bit dramatic by turning on everything first and then switching. Okay. Where is Krita? Okay, so Krita I think should just load automatically as soon as it, yeah. So here are my notes. After this is done, I'll start giving some progress. Connected my tablet.
Alert. Storage media found.
Seems good so far. What I'm doing is turning on the driver for it. It is working. Okay, cool, great. And you can see that it's working because it has all the sensitivity stuff. Okay, cool. So back to, so how have I been doing in terms of my progress? So first thing is, um, Valorant has been very less. Valorant has gone down, which is a good thing. Some of it is unintentional because, as I said, I haven't been having the room to myself, the table to myself, which basically means that I just haven't been given a choice of using Valorant. But the second thing is, I've also made an effort to not play Valorant as much. So that's really good, right? The other problem is YouTube has gone up like way the hell up. So that I need to control. I've done some work, right? So I have my diary here. I have another diary somewhere close by. So with these two, I will show. I also upgraded my diary with some. I think you can see this. These are like hoops basically, and they like come apart. I'm not showing. Oh, I can actually show you this. Um, so these are some that I bought, and these hoops essentially like they come out like this. Just a second. Okay, right, and then you can press them together. They just click in place. So these are perfect for what I was making. They came in this pouch, so that's kind of nice. Um, so as I was saying, right? YouTube has gone up, but I did do some work, right? Which I'll recap. So I need to now work on this, right? Valorant is going on right now. So Valorant London is going on. Actually, it should be running right now. So I wanna just watch this as part of my YouTube, and then maybe like one or two videos when I'm eating. Other than that, I wanna avoid it. What I've been doing is there's this the places where I took the cat photos. Right, it's a flower shop. So I've been going there and working there, sitting next to the cats, which has been really nice. So that has been working. So I think I'll do more of that. The other is I'm getting a better sense of the scope of the project, right? So for example, I have to create a character bio, right? And the bio needs to be very detailed. But now after, coming back to the project after all like 1 year or whatever, I'm getting a better sense of how much the how much detail the bio needs to be. So that's really good. I think that I'm getting a sense of how finished parts of the project will look like in the future. Um, so that's that. Let's see. Let's go through the notes that I did today. So some of these. Let's see. Yeah. So there's nothing here as I was expecting, but if I go here, right, I need to talk about the story as well. Okay. So as I said, I actually had done. Okay, I need to do something about this page. Optional for important event. Yeah. So, um, I'll show you. I had already worked on making this sort of family tree for the characters that I was working on, but now I'm more like putting more and more detail towards it, right? So, for example, there's this character, right? Her name is Blake. So, what does her bio look like? So, she's the daughter of Emma and Max, born on this date, close to her aunt, Gemma Smith, went to the local school. Then, the educational life is divided into four parts: kindergarten, 1 to 5th, 6th to 10th, and then 11th to 12th, which means that this is basically to condense information, right? So she meets two of her friends from first to fifth, then two of her boyfriends are from sixth to 10th. Then she meets a new friend between 11 to 12th, and then she makes another boyfriend in college, right? And then family events happen in which she meets her future husband, and so on and so forth, right? So this is the general like bio of this character, like first draft. And then I go on to talk about what exactly is it that defines a person. And right now, I think right now where I am at is I need to understand the difference between different feelings and not just. So, what I've written here is, for example, you can see that feelings like let's take five feelings, right? Anger, sadness, fear, happiness, and let's say content, like feeling content, right? So you can divide these into positive feelings and negative feelings, right? A broad categorization. And where do these come from? My assessment would be that I am not sure how much of this I want to share again because I'm a bit secretive about this. But basically, if you think about it, a person has desires, right? Every person has a desire. Um, so there is a certain attribute, and this could be anything, right? This could be a relationship, this could be a status, this could be a physical thing that they want. So they either don't have this and they want this, or they have this and they want to retain it, right? Either way, this is our desire, right? Anything that happens that pushes them towards this desire generates a positive feeling, and anything that drives them away from this desire generates a negative feeling, right? But that's the question, like what exactly is the difference between them, right? Because so far, so there's this desire, right? So far I've just mentioned either going away from it or going towards it, but clearly there are multiple ways of doing this, right? So it's not like you can go in only one direction. There must be some like way that you go away from this that produces anger, that produces sadness, or that produces fear, right? So fear of losing something is something that happens sort of preemptively. Don't worry about that. That is just my
Alert. Storage media found.
stupid what do you call it? Phone disconnecting. So I should be back. You wouldn't notice a difference. But yeah, so this is basically generally what I'm currently working on, currently thinking on, right? But already I'm happy that I'm able to talk about things, right? Which is a good sign because this means that if you compare this to the previous timeline, right? Like right here in the last like couple of weeks, I wasn't as directionful, right? I didn't have a good direction. Whereas right now I feel like okay, I have the direction. But now I think what I need to do is sort of um what I need to do right now is take these directions and make them more concrete. So right now I have a character attributes, and in this feelings is what I'm working on right now. I know it's spelled incorrectly. Feelings is what I'm working towards right now, right? There will be more such as state, which is something you wouldn't understand unless I've explained it. There is something called actions, events, situations. These are things that I need to work on, right? After that, I need to work on the reasoning. So uh I have made this here. So character, so something happens, right? The basic thing that I was working on is how do you define a person? How do you define a person? And a broad way of doing it, not a full way, but a part. How do you partly define a person? Would be put them in a situation. So this is a situation. This is what this refers to, right? But I need the point of this is to more concretely define them. So you take a person and you put them in a situation, and two things come out of this: how they feel and how they react. These are the two things that partly define a person, right? There must be more things, right? I think putting someone in a situation, there are more things that are going to define a person. But generally speaking, these two are going to be a very clear cut, very direct way of showing what a person is like. So, this is what I was discussing here, right? Visit. Didn't I just write feelings somewhere? Yeah, this is what this is, right? So clearly, I need to think about this as well, right? But React is not as clear cut because React itself is a mixture of how you feel, right? Because you feel something, then how you think or reason, right? So this is when you feel something, but before doing it, you think like, what are my actions? And then somewhere in between is reflexes. So sometimes you feel something, but you don't get to this point, you just react based on that, right? So for example, if I'm in a school and a teacher is scolding me, right, I might feel very angry, right? And that is very like if a teacher is scolding you, might feel angry or sad. These are the main two like sort of categories, right? You might feel fear as well, but how do I react, right? Maybe I'm just standing there crying, maybe I'm yelling back at the teacher, or maybe I'm doing nothing, right? Maybe I'm just holding back myself. So that is, you know, if the teacher yelled at me and I immediately yelled at them without thinking of the consequences, that's reflexes. But if I'm holding back my tears or something, that is reasoning and thinking, right? So there's a mixture of that. So I need to flesh this out a bit more. But so far, overall, this is where I've been going, which is the overall thing that I'm trying to solve, I guess, is how to create a character. What does a person mean, right? So I started from here, which is put a person in a situation. How do they feel? How do they react? These are the two things I'm saying that define a person or show what a person is, right? So feelings, we are working towards this much, and then the reaction, what action they take in that situation, right? Which again, this itself is a mixture of these three things. So what are these three things, right? And what is thinking, reasoning? And I think again, a lot of this will come from background, right? Based on your background, based on your previous experiences, you do tend on these things. There's another point of like, okay, two people, right? They come from the same background, they come from the same sort of, history, I guess, but they make different decisions. How come, right? What makes them? There's some intrinsic property that they possess. So what is it? How do you define it? But yeah, I think I've been doing fine in terms of working ex- unexpectedly. So I wasn't expecting myself to be working. I'm not saying that I'm working a lot, by the way. I'm definitely not working as much as I would like to, but it's more than I expected in this time. I'm happy about that. Of course, this is something that interests me, so I understand also why I'm working because it's just interesting, right? Like this is something that I naturally gravitate towards. But also um talking about more let's say, what is the thing, detox, dopamine detox, digital detox. Basically, I am trying to reduce. It's a very basic concept. I'm pretty sure you already heard about it, or you can understand what it is. But basically, the idea is that um, there are certain activities that give you dopamine or make you happy really quickly, right? So, for example, watching YouTube videos. For me, it would be playing Valorant, right? These give me instant happiness, sort of. But the thing that I want to do give me a lesser amount of that, or it's not like they give me less amount of dopamine, but they take longer, right? This is much shorter amount of time taken for a hit of dopamine, because this is a longer amount of time taken for this. So this is my work or whatever. So the idea is first to reduce this, and then second to do even less and longer things. Things that take even longer and produce even less dopamine. So that would be chores or whatever. So that when you go back to this feels like an upgrade, right? So this is sort of chemically like tricking your brain. I've done this before. It sort of works, but I wouldn't really say that this is perfect or anything. It sounds simple. Everything sounds simple until you try it and it just doesn't work. Something also I've been trying to do or wanting to do is lucid dreaming, but I really have forgotten completely about it. So maybe I wanna jump back into it. It's a bit tricky because you really need to have a good sleep schedule for consistently lucid dreaming, and practicing lucid dreaming is something really difficult. But I wanna try it. Okay. You might have seen the camera angle change. I had to go for a second and I had to take my phone because I just got a call. But anyways, so this is my state for now. It's been 20 minutes. How has it been 20 minutes? It doesn't feel like it's been 20 minutes. My hair looks kind of bad. So yeah, that's it. Is there something else I want to talk about? I mean, there's always stuff that I want to talk about. Um, I'm just going through my YouTube history quickly to see what I've been up to. Because that's usually the stuff that I am, just on about. Um, I've been thinking more and more that I really don't like most of the video essays that people make. Like, it's hard for me to like a video essay. And what that comes down to, honestly, I don't know. Um, Sorry, my camera again disconnected. I really want to see how it looks when I put my hand like this, because it should be covering up the camera, right? My hands are pretty clean, right? Um, yeah, I've been into Chainsaw Man for some reason very recently. Like, I've just binged all of Chainsaw Man in a video or something, and I know all the spoilers now for some reason. Pretty messed up anime, I have to say. Um, but yeah, the future projects that I want to do are writing related, right? So I'm more of an idea of how that will go, but I'm not sure if I want to talk about it right now. Um, that's it, I think. Unless I want to talk about the camera, which is uh, about the other project, which I do want to talk about. It's not like I don't. I'm just worried about the time. Let me see how my videos are doing. It's such a weird YouTuber thing to do, even though I don't really do YouTube in the traditional sense. Let me see. I can show you guys as well if you want. How do I do this now? I believe, yeah, you should be able to see this now. So let's see. So this is the last video. 2 views, 3 views, 2 likes. Who the hell is liking this? Because I know I sometimes will like my own video on my other channel, but I never like it. I have many accounts, but I never like it with 2 accounts. So it's probably someone else, right? Um, So this was a pretty interesting video. How is this above this? This should be opposite, no? I'm pretty sure this should be below this. Anyways, maybe it's just the video got uploaded later. See, these are the same date. So don't know what to say. Hope you're doing well. Hope everything has been fine. Is there anything interesting I can show you or something? I'm just trying to rack my brain in order to come up with something mildly interesting, I guess. Okay, you know what? Let's just talk about this. So, what is my plan for this story? So, first of all, select a color. Orange is this. Okay. So it's going to be an SCP. It's going to be a tale, which means it's a story, basically. So we will follow a protagonist. For now, I've named her Asa, but I'm not sure this might change. So Asa, our protagonist, is a school student, right? Maybe she's in college, maybe she's in deadass high school, but we follow her through the journey of SCP from the point of view of a bystander, right? So she just gets caught up into this. She's a smart girl, so she figures out the existence of SCP Foundation, which again, a really big part of this is that SCP is something that people don't know about, right? So I think showcasing that this is something that she has to figure out even exists is pretty interesting, right? This should be beginner friendly in my opinion, which means that if you have never heard about SCP, it should still make sense. It should invite you and it should explain to you, handhold you through everything basic about SCP.
Alert. Storage media found.
My stupid phone. I need to buy a new phone at some point as well. Anyways, so as I was saying, the so the first chapter, right? I've in my head named it inoculation, but that's technically incorrect. So what happens in this chapter? Well, as I said, we follow our main character Asa, right? She goes to school, college, whatever, right? We haven't decided her age yet. She notices some irregularities, something off, right? So she notices something off, which leads her to, just um go through logic, um just trying to logic out what happened. What could have happened, right? This is a lot of deja vu sort of things. Deja vu or a missing day. So basically, she's piecing together that a day happened, but she has completely missed it, and nobody seems to remember that a day happened, right? After this, something obviously bad happens. Something bad happens. You keep hearing a woman say something. That is me trying to reconnect my phone. I'm pretty sure you have figured it out by now, but I just wanted to say it just in case someone hasn't. It's due to my very, very, very loose wire that I have. Okay. So something bad happens. This is the SCP happening, right? And as something bad happens, some men with tools, some men in black. It should be more like soldiers, but we'll hold on to that thought for a while. So men in black come and story cuts here abruptly, and we restart the story. We restart the story. So we are back here again, right? Asa goes to school. So this is the same. This time, when she is noticing something, notices something else, right? She notices something else. Now, this is something where I'm not sure what to do yet. So, in my mind, there was something like she could be doing something to her body, for example, leaving a scratch mark or something like that. So, she notices something off, right? And she starts to piece together that the day is repeating, like something is repeating, Groundhog Day or something like that. Groundhog Day. So she leaves a mark on her body. So as the so this part is important, but where it happens is I'm not sure, right? Because what could happen is the day repeats until here, right? The story repeats until here with minor changes. Then Men in Black come and she puts something together, right? She puts two and two together, right? Okay, wait. I've seen, I've definitely had something missing, and I'm feeling like this is whatever is happening has happened multiple times, and now these people are coming and they are doing something that feels very shady. So she just, you know, scratches off her fingernail or something like that. Basically, leaves a mark, right? And when the day restarts again, she goes to this point and notices that something has happened, right? And either at this point or at the end of this day, some point, I want to end with this line, which is she sees uh, this symbol, which is a circle, an insignia, which I need to see if that is what that means. I believe it means like a logo or a stamp or symbol, insignia of a circle with three arrows pointing inwards. And this will be the first chapter, which is sort of a. So this is for people who know SCP, right? For them, this is like, oh yeah, this is just the SCP Foundation, obviously, right? But the initial thing should be interesting, right? Because I want it to be interesting for both people, which is people who want to read SCP and people who want to read something horror or something like that, but not SCP. They don't know what SCP is, right? So this creates the intrigue of something weird happening through, the classic SCP something happening structure, right? And the intrigue for those people is the people, the Men in Black, because they don't know what is happening, right? For them, the Men in Black essentially are causing it. Whereas for the people who are from the SCP side, they probably already know that this is an SCP, right? So they know that the SCP itself is more interesting. So when they are looking at these things happening, right, it should be like, okay, I'm noticing there. It's very funny because when you read an SCP, right, I think your brain works like a researcher in that foundation, which is you start to notice like small little things, right? You start to notice things that are very subtle and that can give hints to other things, right? So in that regard, I think it should be very interesting where those people are looking at two things, right? First is the character of Asa, who I don't know how many of you would have actually noticed it, but yes, it is from Chainsaw Man Part 2, the protagonist of that part. So, Asa, for her characterization is something I need to get right, right? And the second thing they will be noticing is the other part of it, which is just what actually are the details of the repeating day, right? The very specific details. That is where subtlety is going to help me because those people will be looking for those things, right? And the other people are more intrigued about the overall thing that's happening. The overall So this is the first chapter, right? But the overall arc is that Asa figures out that the SCP Foundation exists, right? Um, Eventually, she infiltrates or gets some info on what is happening here, right? And at some point, she messes up. Maybe she takes the wrong drug, or maybe she does something that is wrong, and she gets captured by the SCP Foundation. I say captured, it's more like she gets detained so that they can help her, you know let's say that she OD'd on a drug, so they just detain her to help her fix that, right? So they fix her, and they have a chat about, like, they're again trying to keep everything as under the cover as possible, right? But at the same time, she herself is pretty smart, right? So she's figuring out, like, what is happening, what the whole thing is about, right? And she's acting kind of suspiciously for the other people, because she's not really asking questions. She's trying to figure out things just through, you know, um, deduction, which leads the other people in the SCP Foundation to question her. And from there, I'm not sure where this will go, right? Because parallelly, the story of how whatever SCP actually is going on, right? So these will be more typical SCPs or SCP articles, which are going to be connected to one SCP basically. At the same time, I want to constantly introduce or reintroduce very popular SCPs. So things like 173, 2000, 999, 087. I'm just trying to list out how many can I remember. I am forgetting the old man, the number which has been given to him. 682, 5000, 3000. So basically, these I want to be reintroduced, right? And reintroduced not necessarily in a, everything has to have its own chapter, but like just enough so that when someone finishes this story and they are out in the SCP world, right? Just looking at the Foundation articles or whatever, they can see that, oh, I know what this is, and they can now go and read more about it, right? So that's my overall plan. I think this I want to get right, even if it ends at chapter 4, because that happens a lot when I do things, right? The other story thing that I want to do, let me get the color right for this one, which is a sort of love story, or not love story, but like a romance sort of story, where we start. So we start at day 99, right? And then we move backwards. So we go to day 98, 97, right? And what happens is you see two people seemingly more or less unrelated, right? So these two people are shown to say goodbye to each other and just leave, right? But as you go back in day, right, you slowly see them grow closer, which basically means that they are, so let's say a fight happens here, right? But before that fight, they're closer and they're closer, right? And they're essentially going from strangers to being very close friends. And at the peak of it, now again, this is reverse in time, right? So basically what's happening is you're in reverse seeing them have a fight and grow apart. But as you're reading it, you're feeling like they're growing closer. And as you keep going further back and back, right, you see them grow less close, but there's that excitement of knowing that, oh my god, these characters are going to be such good friends at one point and then have such a heartbreak at one point, right? And it ends at day one where they first time meet each other, right? And maybe there will be a day 100 something, which will be them, I don't know, doing something interesting, like an epilogue of sort. I'm saying day 99 because it just sounds cool, but it could be something like day 34 or something like that, depends. So this basically is like how many chapters I'm gonna have, right? Now the story, first thing, I tried to find stories that are similar to this just to see if I'm copying someone else without knowing it. I couldn't find anything. And the only thing I can really say which I am knowingly copying or taking inspiration from is Tenet. Because in Tenet, what happens is our protagonist, right? He meets a guy from the future and who knows this guy very well. So these two are supposedly very good friends. At the end of the movie, spoilers by the way, we can skip like 10 seconds. At the end of the movie, it's shown that this guy is about to die, but after that, this guy will go on to make friends with him and become very good friends. So it's essentially like, hope the spoilers are gone now. So the essentially what happens is that it seems like they met for the first time, but this was just their first meeting in a sense. So that's sort of what I'm trying to capture here, right? I think the what I'm trying to capture is very easy to see. That I'm trying to capture two people growing apart in reverse, which sort of feels like two people growing close to each other. And this is like the height of excitement of, like how do two people meet, right? Sometimes it's literally just luck, right? And that's how I want them to meet, which is just pure luck. And how do two people grow apart as well? When you look at these two people for the first time, you won't really know anything about them, right? So yeah, that's my plan for this story or whatever you want to call it. Save. That was fun. It's now what, half an hour, something like that. 40 minutes. Okay. I hate how bad my hair looks. Ah. Do I wanna go and put this on the SCP server thingy? I guess I could. Idea critic. Let me try and put it. So I am more or less planning to do this on my own, but I still want some advice, help, or whatever. And more importantly, I would like for at least to hear out what these people have to say. So let me see. Um okay. So we are looking for tail for seeking green light is yes. You won't see this, but I can show it to you, I guess. All I'll be leaking is the subreddit, the servers that I follow, but I'll show it. I think you should be able to see it now. Yeah. Um. So this should be a tail. So we'll give it that tail. Later some CP integrals. Okay, I guess. What is this? I kind of want to give it some horror and some uh mystery. What are the? It's like a detective sort of detective page layout I mean, this is just a elevator pitch. Follow the rule of mass student know about the existence of the mysterious foundation that seems to be nothing with reality. Central narrative. I guess this is the central narrative. Elevator pitch. Feel that me for uh story that serves as a what is it? A tale that serves as sort of an an introduction to sleepy by putting the reader in the shoes of a character as they both learn about the history of the city foundation. Book or attention grabber for the needies or for the sleepy. It's in reality genuine story that makes have between the lines in means and context. Or the non each story about a mysterious organization. Okay, let's post it. A tag. Seeking to win that? Yeah. Critic swap. Will I have time? Mm, Okay, let's see. Okay. Ta-da-da. So I wanna copy this. Go to writing general. Mm, Actually, I do. I'm pretty sure you can post grid swaps, so I'm gonna just post it directly. I hope you can hear me. Yeah. Okay. This should be fine. I'm gonna hide Discord for a second because I'm gonna check. I got a message from someone. I think I'll go now. This was fun. Hope you're doing well. And see you soon. Wish me luck and best of luck to you as well for whatever projects you're doing. Hope they go well. It's been tough, but yeah. Yeah, see you.